Shalom Rastafari, Assalamu Alaikum, and peace to the kings and the queens of the earth. How's everybody doing this Monday? If you can tell in my voice, I'm in a good mood. It's always a good mood when my boys pull off a nice win, switch the fish, division rival, from Buffalo, New York. So had to just put that in there. I had to put that plug in. It's always always a good day when we take care of Miami. But on a serious note, I just wanted to just talk about a few things this morning, nothing too crazy, but that do coincide with football, so to speak. And while watching the game, injuries are definitely a part of everyday life. I like to look, just not just football, but everyday life, right? You got people going on, construction, farmers, in the field as far as stat or police officers, or you know what I mean. Things are people who are doing construction, people are doing roofing. There's a possibility that you're going to get injured while you're at work, right? And especially in the NFL, and when the NFL, I really do believe that they need to drop the ban on cannabis immediately. They need to literally drop that and drop the testing and make it as if the NBA, and allow these players to heal themselves through CBD and through cannabis the way they want to. And here's the reason why. Watching the game yesterday, obviously, if you haven't heard, the Bills took care of the Dolphins, and that's a big deal for any Buffalo fan. That's our rival. They had come in, they were undefeated, and we just took care of business. We beat them, by about 20 points, and beat them at home, and it was a great day. Great sunny day in Buffalo, just watching it and talking to people who were at the game, or a couple of the friends like I always have. Just a good day, And at the same time, there's always, when it comes to football, there's always a possibility of tragedy also, as far as maybe one of your players getting hurt. And my heart just goes out to the player, Trey White. He was, again, one of the best DBs in the league. Battled back from an ACL surgery really 2 years ago. Came back from there midway through last year and balled out toward the end of the year. Came back this year looking great, looking like Pro Bowl Trey, and ends up rupturing his Achilles last game. And I necessarily, when it comes to the healing aspect of it, these things take time, and your body getting hurt, on a consistent basis really can be tough. And really, it's more, to me, tough mentally. I've been hurt. I've bounced back from injuries. I've done all, and it's to me one of the most psychological detrimental things that you can really go through. Picture yourself just really going to a job, and then that job is a career job, right? It's the job that you wanted to have all your life. It's the job you had career aspirations to. And in this job, you get hurt, and you're able to rehab and come back. And then when you come back, you get hurt again. Psychologically, that's going to mess with you. And when it comes to football, when you put so much work into your body, so much hard work, so much sacrifice and time and effort, and things that you could be doing, and things, especially when you have money, this is something that you put this is now psychological, right? Like I'm quite sure Trey White, if he is pretty good with his money, he doesn't probably need to really have or play football, right? First round draft pick for 2017, we re-signed him. 6 years in the league. If you take care of your money, you're sitting pretty well, and you're playing for the love. You're truly playing because you love the game. You're truly playing because you have goals. You're truly playing because you want to play as long as you want. And this is something that you have been dying to do for your entire life. And when you get hurt consistently, or when you get hurt when you're coming back from another injury, it is, to me, psychological warfare. And how does this intone with cannabis? Well, I think cannabis, to me, allows players to not get into that damn near suicidal thought process. These pharmaceutical pills have been shown to heighten that situation. And when it comes down to these players, I honestly, my heart went out the tray when I saw him getting carted off, because I knew exactly what he was going through. I knew exactly what his mental. I mean, he's boohooing and crying. He's going crazy because while you're just feeling great, right? You're just feeling back. You're getting to 100%, and then you get knocked. And it's not just some injury where you're gonna be out for me a week or two. You're done again, and you start to contemplate, doing this. I remember when my last couple of years of playing, I knew I couldn't play anymore because I just didn't want to get hurt. I didn't want to go through the psychological situations of like going out there, doing hours and hours of training, and all of a sudden something happens, and I don't know if I could have handled that again. And when you can't handle that, you have to stop playing, right? You have to be on a court where you're just going crazy and you don't care about injury. But if you really are, trying not to get hurt because you just want to have a full year, you want to get back to it, you want to get back to your thing, you want to be there for these big games, you want to be there for these big events, and you get hurt, it's psychological warfare. I think that cannabis can at least put you in a level-headed situation where it can kind of, we all, if you're a cannabis person, you know that at the end of the day, this thing cuts that tensity, it cuts that mental, it can literally make you a person who can calmly go to these problems and understand that it's going to be okay regardless of the situation. This isn't such a mask, right? But if you're going to mask anything, pharmaceuticals, that's all they do. And most of these drugs that are painkillers also have a psychological effect I'm surprised. We have seen football players who have committed suicide. RIP to Junior Seau, and with the mental, and who knows what he could have had with a little bit of, cannabis influence. I truly believe that lives could have been saved. And I truly believe that when it comes to these cases, that when you see things like this, I'm not going to go into how many players that I know smoke, but they would love to smoke more and be freely about it if they didn't know they were going to get drug tested all the time. And it would merely make their behavior way better. And they even have said before that psychologically it would just literally help on all fronts. 100%. It's not going to hinder the game. You're not going to make players faster or stronger doing this stuff. Psychologically, you're going to help them out. Muscle pain, you're going to help them out. But mostly psychological. I really believe that they need to literally look into this stuff because of that. There's nothing more than I want to try to just be like, look, man, just relax, and smoke and get and retool. Because when I was hurt, the first thing you wanted to do was grab some liquor, right? Just to you know what I mean? And that's even a worse combination. And definitely having specific thoughts in your head. I went through that. I've seen that. And it's not just my opinion. This is scientific facts. They know that cannabis can literally heal, right? But it's not a, once they start going into this, a lot of money is getting lost. The NFL is probably supporting $1 trillion drug industry just off its league alone. If you think about what people take. I was there. Okay, I saw piles of Tylenol, Advil, and all types of stuff. Just like it was, you would thought it was Skittles or gum sitting there. So let alone what they have now, right? And they could try to say, well, we go more holistic, but ain't nothing more holistic than literally healing naturally. And the healing of the nation is cannabis. And once they open that up, they know that they're going to wipe out that pharmaceutical contract, so to speak. But I really do think that when in times like this, there's nothing more than that man probably needs some cannabis to really get him through this rehab. And there's a lot of players that need this also. And so I'm going to keep getting the drum again, because I know it's going to eventually happen. But topicals, the psychological aspect of it will benefit especially NFL football players. And it's even proven that it helps with CTE, it helps with concussions, it helps with healing. They don't want to, these are facts. These are Googleable information. Like I said, this is simple stuff. They do not want you to learn because they do not want you to support that, because ultimately that's not a big money grab, right? Cannabis can be, made in you can have players really growing their own farm and healing themselves correctly, right? And my heart goes out to Trey, and I hope that he eventually gets better. And again, I really want the NFL to really look into banning that drug ban, that banning that drug policy, drop it, take it off of the drug testing list, and you would see, to me, a big difference in some of these players' recovery, especially what their behavior is outside of football. I'm telling you right now, I'm a living witness of it, and I know for a fact that there's a lot of players who would love nothing more than to just, after that game, go home and freely smoke cannabis and go to sleep and get ready for the next day. I'm telling you. So, one love to y'all. Just hope y'all have a great Monday and the rest of the week. Talk to y'all soon.